Anime is just kids' cartoons, right? Bright hair, exaggerated emotions, dramatic fight scenes. On the surface, it looks easy to dismiss. And yet, millions of adults, engineers, doctors, artists, parents, are binge-watching it late into the night. Some even say it hits them harder than most live-action shows. So what's really going on here? Why would a grown adult, after a long, exhausting day in the real world, choose an animated story over something serious? Why do people describe anime as comforting, motivating, even life-changing? Here's the twist. Anime doesn't succeed despite being animated. It succeeds because of what animation allows psychologically. And once you understand the pull, it stops sounding childish and starts looking like one of the most effective emotional storytelling tools of the modern age. Most entertainment distracts. Anime transports. Psychologists call this narrative transportation. That feeling of mentally stepping into another world so fully that your brain temporarily quiets the stress of your own. Anime excels here because it isn't limited by realism. Emotions can be larger, symbolism clearer, inner struggles visualized. A character's fear might literally crack the sky. Grief might turn into silence so heavy it feels physical. Shows like Attack on Titan or The Gentle Worlds of Studio Ghibli don't just tell stories, they create emotional landscapes. For adults carrying unspoken stress, that depth offers something rare, a safe place to feel without explanation. It's not escape from reality, it's recovery from it. Another reason anime hooks adults? Identification. Psychologists call these bonds parasocial relationships, one-sided emotional connections with fictional characters. And anime characters are unusually honest about struggle. They fail loudly, they doubt themselves. They train, relapse, try again. A shy character learns confidence. A broken one learns purpose. A lost one slowly builds identity. For viewers, this becomes symbolic rehearsal. Watching someone confront fear, loneliness, or moral conflict gives the brain a model for navigating those emotions safely. That's why people say, "This character changed me." Not because they copied them, but because they recognize themselves in the struggle. Growth feels easier when you've seen it before. People often say anime is addictive, but psychologically, what's happening is more precise. Anime is very good at inducing flow state, a mental state where challenge, curiosity, and emotional reward are perfectly balanced. Time disappears, self-consciousness fades, cliffhangers, evolving power systems, long character arcs. Your brain stays engaged without overload. Compare that to scrolling social media. Fast dopamine, low satisfaction. Anime is slower dopamine, higher meaning. That's why one episode turns into 3. Not because viewers lack control, but because their brains finally found something immersive enough to hold attention without fragmenting it. In a distracted world, sustained focus feels intoxicating. Anime fandom also fills a modern psychological gap: belonging without performance. You don't need status, looks, or social dominance. Just shared interest. Psychologists call this identity-based belonging, connection formed around values and narratives rather than hierarchy. Discussing a favorite character, debating story themes, sharing fan art, these interactions create community without small talk, without competition. For adults who feel out of place in loud, performative spaces, anime fandom becomes a low-pressure tribe. You can be enthusiastic without being judged, quiet without being invisible. In a world that constantly asks people to sell themselves, that kind of belonging is quietly powerful. Here's what rarely gets mentioned. Anime can increase empathy by exposing viewers to unfamiliar perspectives and moral dilemmas. It can boost creativity through symbolic worlds that stretch imagination. And it offers stress regulation, especially through comfort shows that signal safety to the nervous system. In chaotic times, predictable emotional arcs and meaningful resolution help the brain reset. It's similar to why adults reread favorite books or rewatch old movies, except anime often combines comfort with growth. It doesn't numb emotions, it organizes them. So no, anime isn't just cartoons. It's a psychological masterclass in storytelling, emotional processing, and immersion. A medium that speaks to parts of the mind traditional entertainment often ignores. Even if you've never watched anime, understanding its pull reveals something bigger. People aren't escaping reality. They're searching for meaning, connection, and emotional honesty. And sometimes, animation tells the truth more clearly than realism ever could. So here's the question. Have you ever tried anime or avoided it because of assumptions? Drop a comment with your thoughts. And if you want more surprising psychology behind everyday behaviors, hit subscribe. Because the most misunderstood interests often reveal the most about how the human mind really works.